this is the third battle between Danko and Balor of Agartha in the Team Dignitas Invitational tournament. So it's Galatia versus Sparta, not a good matchup for Sparta. Let's have a look at what the map is. It's Nemetocenna, which is good for Galatia and bad for Sparta because it's going to enable Galatia to get good charges off. So for Galatia we have 6 legionaries, we have 6 swords, we have 2 Celtic slingers and 1 Syrian archer. For cavalry we only have 2 mercenary Cappadocians and a noble horse, and 1 unit of Galatian raiders of all things, so only 1. I'm surprised he didn't bring more of them, but I guess he wanted to save some funds for his swords. Still, he did spend a lot on these Cappadocians and on this noble horse. So let's see if he can make it work against Sparta. For Sparta we have a front line consisting of Periki hoplites and Spartan hoplites. Huge line of hoplites. We have Periki spears on the flanks. In the center we have some Spartan youths, royal Spartans, and some more royal Spartans for the morale boosting and tanking abilities, I guess. 2 Gorgos in the center. They should do well against the mercenary Syrian archers, but I think they will be defeated by these 3 units in combination. They most certainly will. So many hoplites for Sparta here. The Galatian legionaries are going to do very well against hoplites, but it's questionable how well the Galatian swords are going to be able to do. They should do okay against the Periki hoplites because they have very low melee attack and weapon damage. Not great melee defense either. So he's getting the raiding horse into the back line of Sparta, being able to push the skirmishers of Sparta forward. And no cavalry for Sparta is a super risky choice in my opinion, because it's going to be really hard to stop rear charges when not having any skirmishers. So the Syrians are getting off the first volley against Gorgos, it looks like. Not at full effect though, because they are sort of stuck inside of their own formation there. Pushing up with the Spartan youths to bait arrows, getting a nice rear charge here against these units. Presumably trying to just stop the Gorgos from firing, because he did lose quite a lot of Galatian raiders there, while not really getting anything in return. So, wow, the Spartan youths are actually going to be able to MLG charge the mercenary Syrian archers and stop the Celtic slingers from firing. So that was huge. These units of Galatian legionaries are also going to do significant friendly fire when firing into the Spartan youths like this, so this was very nice. And over here we have engagements going on, cavalry charges incoming, followed up by Galatian swords. Galatian swords are going to get a lot of kills on Periki hoplites due to their massive charge. Hoplites pouring in but getting charged in the flank by Galatian legionaries. Royal Spartans getting charged by the Galatian legionaries over here, using his general with battle rhythm to increase the damage done to the Royal Spartans. So the Royal Spartans are dropping quickly to skirmish fire from javelins and from Celtic slingers. Already a unit of Periki hoplites going down, only 45 morale. Another unit of Periki spears going down. Here we have the Galatian legionaries smashing into the Spartan hoplites. They're going to do a lot of damage on the charge to the Spartan hoplites. The raiding horse is roaming free, as is the mercenary Cappadocians. So there's nothing to stop these units from doing devastating rear charges against the hoplites of Sparta. Periki spears in square, holding on for some time, but the Periki spears are just getting smashed from all sides here. Periki hoplites breaking, Periki hoplites and Periki spears not really being able to hold up to the cavalry and sword assault from Galatia. The Galatian legionaries are doing so well against the Spartan hoplites. Over here the Royal Spartans are being defeated by Galatian legionaries, but Spartan hoplites are running in from the flank to support. Still a lot of good units available for Balor to do his thing. It looks like he's going to be able to win on the flank here, especially if he's using his cavalry to go for rear charges against the already engaged units. So the Spartan hoplites are up against legionaries. Some of the legionaries are sort of they are in weird. The Galatian swords are in weird angles. But the Perky Hoplites getting charged by the mercenary Cappadocian cavalry, probably going to break, and there we have it, they shatter. More engagements happening in the center, the Galatian legionaries are charging in, doing a lot of damage to Perky spears and Spartan Hoplites. Kiting away and getting a nice charge with his Galatian legionaries, stopping the charge of the Royal Spartans against this unit of Galatian legionaries. Very nicely done there by Balor. Perky Hoplites are not going to do super well against Galatian swords, but the Galatian swords are also taking some fire. The Royal Spartans are doing okay against Galatian legionaries, but they are just so much more expensive. Mercenary Cappadocian Cav free to charge into the Gorgo skirmishers, should take them off the field. Perky Hoplites rushing in to support, but it's just too late for them to save Gorgos. More Galatian legionaries pouring in against the Royal Spartan general of Danko. The Royal Spartans are not happy about this. They don't like being up against 3 mid-tier swords. Another sword unit coming in from the flanks. One of the Gorgos actually managed to survive, but they're so depleted they're not going to be able to do much in the rest of the battle. So the cavalry here of Balor is just able to roam freely into the backlines of Sparta. Spartan Hoplites getting into the Galatian raiders and should be able to break them fairly easily. Still, Sparta has no response to the cavalry of the Galatians here. They're going to be able to pick their engagements, go in for rear charges when needed. The Perky spears are going to go into square, which should help them a bit against the cavalry. But if they have fire at will on, then the square isn't going to work. And a square isn't going to work either when there are too few men left in the unit to form a square. So the Noble Horse General gets in, gets out, but he needs to be careful because there are Perky Hoplites moving in here to charge him. In the center, the General of Sparta is not doing well at all. Spartan Hoplites getting charged should be destroyed fairly easily. In this blob, Sparta is doing slightly better, about to break some units of Galatian swords here. Galatian swords are good offensively, but they have shit morale. Perky spears getting sandwiched between Galatian swords and Noble Horse. And same story with this unit of Perky Hoplites. It manages to charge in, but then it gets rear charged by the Cappadocians. And now there isn't much that Sparta can do here, really. So many swords left for Galatia. So many skirmishers. The Royal Spartans are about to go down without really doing much. So even with this extreme amount of Hoplites, it's just going to be super hard for Sparta to be able to deal with all of the good swords that Galatia can bring. So a very bad matchup for Sparta. Spartan Hoplites just being destroyed all across the battlefield, surrounded by swords and ground into dust. So Balor 1 is going to advance to the next round of the tournament, where he will be facing a clanmate of his, Llewellyn of Agartha. So almost every unit on the Galatian side did well, aside from the skirmishers that were mismicroed in the beginning. That made the Spartan youths super useful. But still, the rest of the Hoplite units just died to the sword rush of Galatia, and that's what Hoplites do against sword rushes. I think it could have been better for Sparta to even bring citizen cavalry in this matchup to stop the charges of Galatia and then get its Hoplites in to be able to grind against them, to rob them of their good charge bonus. But it's still going to be super hard to make Sparta work against Galatia. Good game to both players. Strength and honor.